It's time to hear the story, make the connection, learn the lesson, and gain the wisdom. Are you ready? Let's get charged and be changed. The Sister Speak Brother Break Show. Conversations on grace, healing, and deliverance. This is Marcy Bush. Come on, let's journey together. Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Sister Speak Brother Break Show. Today I have another special guest with me. This is a young man that I have known for the majority of his life. We were talking, and I think it's probably been somewhere around 24 years that I have known Troy. And his journey is an incredible one. And so we've brought him here today to just share with us some of the twists and turns, the highs and lows of his journey, in hopes that his testimony will speak to you in a way that you're able to connect with it and maybe see some hope for your story or someone who's in your life. And so I ask you to welcome Troy Williamson. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Should we clap?
For being with us. If you want to clap, clap.
Okay. I clap.
All right. Well, Troy, it's good to be here with you. I don't know all of your story, but I know a whole lot of it. And I'm just grateful for how God has kept you throughout it all. But we want to catch everybody else up. So let's start from the beginning. I know that you come from a very large family. You grew up in the area where I grew up, down around Petticoat. Petticoat Junction, South Carolina. So tell me what it was like growing up in that big family.
Fun. We had a lot of different adventures, a lot of hurt. We went through a lot of different stuff, growing up. But the biggest thing is just how close we are as a family, and some of the stuff that we went through as kids really got us to this point now, in life. I mean, I can call any of my brothers and sisters for anything, any advice. If one don't have it, I'm pretty sure one of the 11 going
okay, so that's what I was about to ask you. How many? So it's 11.
It's 11, right.
Okay. All right. And growing up in Petticoat, what were your conditions like growing up?
Well, anybody that know Petticoat knew the blue house sitting on the hill. Very bad conditions. A lot of people that drove by just thought it was just a abandoned house. Okay. So the windows had cardboard on them, plastic. So in the wintertime we had a wood burning stove, so we had to chop our wood. We used to go to school smelling like fresh pine. Okay.
So let's date it. Let's look at, how old are you now?
I'm 38.
You're 38. And so growing up, you were born when?
83. Okay.
So we're talking about like mid to late 80s when you had the stove and all that.
Right. So up until I'm gonna think till I moved out, but we ain't gonna go there yet. So, but I moved from Jersey. I was born in Jersey City. Moved from Jersey City to South Carolina around the age of 5.
Okay.
So being 5 up until probably about 13, I lived in those conditions. Okay.
So I didn't even know you lived in Jersey.
Born.
So what brought you here, and where do you fall in the lineup?
I'm right slap dab in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
that explains a lot.
Right.
Okay, and so you all came down here. You had family here already,
right? My mom, just the conditions up there. Just the lifestyle, wanted to move to somewhere with a slower pace. Okay. So her and my grandma decided to move down south, close to family. My grandfather ended up building the house, that blue house that we ended up living in.
Okay. All right. And so I interrupted. So take us back to the blue house and tell me some of those memories, what that was like. I know you said it was good, which already it feels like kind of like an oxymoron, but it's not. Right. Because what you told me, it was fun. Your best mememories.
Yeah, when you're kids, I mean, the thing, I wouldn't change a thing as far as, because the situations that you in, we didn't look at it as being in a bad situation, because that's, all we knew. We didn't realize it until we, grew up, and but we really had it bad, And a lot of, I go to my kids, my mom had set menus. What she cooked is what we ate. So I can tell you, like on Monday we had spaghetti, Tuesday we had pork chops and pork and beans, Wednesday we had liver, corn, and rice. So like we knew like what we was gonna eat on one day. And it wasn't no McDonald's, it wasn't no, that was a luxury. And a luxury that we got, very seldomly got. So the thing is that what was cooked, you had to eat. Now my kids are like totally different. What I cook normally is what I eat.
Gotcha.
So growing up, I mean, and now that's why I can truly say that the way I grew up really molded me into the person that I am today. I appreciate everything I got. Trying to stay close with my brothers and sisters, trying to keep my nephews and my sons and daughter, close together and all that other stuff, just how we grew up.
Right. So let's go back to the Blue House. And how many of you lived in the house?
It depends. It can be anywhere from my mom, my oldest brother Sharon, Myra, Carlton, Celeste, Roy, me, Chris. There might have been 7 of us at that time. Okay. That was in there. So it was tough. I mean, we only had 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. Okay. Maybe 3. 1, 2, 3 in the living room. So we all kind of slept on top of each other. Gotcha. And that's how we survived. Okay. And so I know some of the incidents that shaped. What are some of the things that you remember that were kind of pivotal in your life or in your thinking? You talk about as far as events like me being burned. I was burned when I was 7, and I was burned again when I was 9.
Really?
Yeah, so I got burned twice.
So tell me what happened. Was it you being bad, Troy?
It was me just being mischievous and,
I said bad, he said mischievous.
But the thing about it is, I always say, like my mom, my older sister Janine, she pretty much kept us in check. My mom normally took care of whoever was the youngest. Okay, gotcha. So they got the most attention. Yes. So at 7, like we would go out in the backyard, man. At this time, I'm 7. My brother Roy is 9. My cousin JJ is 8. So we're all in line. So we found this kerosene can, and so we got like a empty can good. Poured the kerosene inside of it, lit it, and Roy and JJ started fighting over it. So it flew out of their hand and it flew on me. So the craziest thing is that we started in the back of the house. I ran to the front of the house, stopped, dropped, and rolled. I remember what they taught me in school. Got back up and was still on fire and ran back to the back of the house. Lord. And before you knew it, my uncle had done grabbed me and smothered me out. Okay. So, and I remember being waiting until the paramedics came, and it seemed like it took forever. And I remember asking, am I gonna live? Am I gonna die? And obviously I didn't learn because I put myself in another situation like that where we were across the street. Let me go back. Where we were, when I was got burned, I got 3rd-degree burns on my left arm, left side. Okay. I was in the hospital for 3 months, had to learn how to walk again. Really? Had to sleep under a canopy. And from that situation, I remember the doctors coming in every morning, doctors and nurses coming in every morning, having to change my bandages, which was the worst pain it was. And we had to do that every day. Right.
Did you have, as a 7-year-old, did you have any, what was your comprehension level like regarding what was going on with you?
I didn't really, I know for me, what I was thinking was that I wasn't gonna make it. I had a bunch of thoughts, that I wasn't gonna make it, that it was bad, but the hospital, we got one of the best burn centers in Augusta, which I was only like 15, 20 minutes away, that they was able to get me there fast enough, get me treated so it won't be any infections. And it's crazy because that burn, I still had issues and still have issues to today with the same burn that I had 20-something years ago. Okay. Almost, 31 years ago. Okay, yeah. So it's crazy how you don't know dealing with some stuff that you're doing and how it affects you later on.
And if that's in the natural,
right, all
the other stuff too.
I agree.
So then you said 9.
So we across the dirt road in Petticoat, and me and my friends had to let something on fire. And what happened was the woods was about to catch on fire. Oh, Lord. So what happened was we started stumping it. and my shoe caught on fire. Before I can get it off, I got burned on my right ankle. So at this time, I remember this. My uncle, I walked to my uncle's house. My uncle carried me from his house to our house, and my mom was like, she hadn't thought I'd been shot or something.
Okay.
So she was, you know, her thing. My mom was like real calm, and obviously she must go to herself and cry, yell, or whatever, because I never really saw my mom get, you know, too emotional.
Okay.
So we went to the hospital, and I overheard a conversation. Somebody from Department of Social Services wanted to talk to my mom because this is the second incident. Want to make sure everybody, you know, everything was good, that she didn't have nothing to do with it.
Right.
She raising us right. So I overheard a conversation about, you know, all the stuff, all the questions, stuff that they were asking her. And back then, you know, I was, you know, just 9, not really thinking about it.
Right.
So I just know I didn't want to go, you know, foster care or be taken from the home.
Right.
So I think at that time I was in the hospital maybe a few weeks, and it took, you know, the skin grafts again from my legs and my stomach, and they placed it over the burns, another 3rd-degree burn on my ankle.
Okay.
So it was challenging.
Wow. So those were the fire incidents, and then what came into play with Roy? You said Roy was how much older than you?
2 years older than me.
Okay. And so what happened with Roy, would that be one of the next majors that you remember, or is there anything in between there?
That would be the next major, yeah, because I was 7, 9, 12. So it's kind of happened like in 3-year increments. That's kind of crazy. I just realized that.
And so
what happened with that was the story between me, it was somebody I looked up to. Like Roy was, you know, my father figure.
Okay.
Even though he was 2 years older than me, you know, what he said to do, I would do. He always looked out for me. I mean, because we would go, I remember one time we rode our bikes from Petticoat Junction to Aiken to go to Walmart to take some stuff, right?
take some stuff, as in
steal.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So what happened was, what we did was we would go in Walmart, go in the dressing room, put the clothes on up under our clothes, and walk out.
Okay.
This time I didn't do it. Roy and JJ did it.
Okay.
Roy and JJ did it. So we was walking out the store and the police grabbed us.
Oh Lord.
And so what happened was Roy took up. He said it was all him. So they ended up letting me and JJ go, and they took Roy to jail for that.
Okay.
So anything he would say.
Did y'all have to ride the bikes back to Petticoat?
Oh
Jesus.
And leave one. And then go home and tell my mom that, you know, that he had went to jail.
And for those of you who don't know, that is not just around the corner.
Right. So we planned it out the whole ride up there, and it sucked riding back, you know, knowing him not being able to, you know,
and Roy was the person you looked up to, a major influence, and so that happened. He went to jail. How long was he in jail?
Not long.
Okay. So he was able to get out.
He was, you know, they let him go because my mom went up there and got him.
Okay. And so continue to talk about Roy. What happened?
Okay. So I remember it was the weekend, obviously, and me, Roy, JJ, and one of Roy's friends, we was at my aunt's house on the dirt road, and they just got finished smoking. So we were smoking, and we started walking the dirt road, and my brother Roy was like, all right, Troy and JJ, y'all need to go on about your business now, because we got something else we need to do. So I go to my friend's house, stay at my friend's house, come back home, go to sleep, wake up, and Roy wasn't at the house. So what happened was, I go to school, and the two friends, Roy ended up getting with another one of his friends, so them two friends come to school to me the next day, and was like, did Roy come home last night? So I was like, no, last time I seen him, he was with y'all. So I go through the whole day of school, get on the bus, and my aunt comes up to the bus and was like, you know, Roy had died in a car accident last night. So what happened was, we passed by the house they ended up stealing the car from, and everybody know Brother Larry. So he stole the car to their yard. It was on a dirt road off of Silver Bluff Road.
Okay.
Driving fast, and wrecking the car, drug him out of the car, and left him on the side of the road.
Oh Lord.
And that right there changed, I think, everything for my mom, because she really wanted to put us in a better situation during that time.
Right.
Because I don't know what it is to feel like to lose a son. Right. And like I told you before, like my mom she really don't. She's just like she's tough around us, and I know that situation probably really broke her down.
Right.
But it brought us, closer together as a family.
And where did it send you?
It scared me because that's my first time ever dealing with death, and to be just see my brother laying in a casket. I didn't want to end up like that. So it changed a whole lot of my decisions that I made, every decision I made, everything that I did, my whole way of thinking just changed.
Okay.
And put me down a better path than the path that I was actually headed down.
Okay. And so I know at some point Doug entered your life. How did that come about?
Because Doug was trying to get to my brother Roy before he actually was dealing with me.
Okay.
My mom reached out to Doug after my brother passed and asked him could he step in and do something with me and my brother Holly.
Okay, and so Doug is a guy that goes to church with us, a guy from the community that everybody knows and loves.
Right.
If you don't love Doug, something's wrong with you.
Right.
And so you said your mom
reached out.
Okay.
So Doug started coming around. He did turn into that father figure. So we would spend time come pick us up for church, take us to McDonald's, the stuff that we wasn't getting at the house. So then the opportunity came up for us to actually, move in with Doug. So I asked my mom, could he move in? My mom was like, it's only 15, 20 minutes away. I think it'd be a great opportunity for y'all to get y'all out of the situation that, that y'all in now. So we, moved out.
Okay.
And Doug had some rules, which I was gonna follow because I didn't want to go back to the Blue House.
Okay.
So I followed all his rules, and only thing we really had to do was, go to church and be respectful. So we was gonna be in church probably 3 times on Sunday, Tuesday.
We weren't not in church though. 3
All right, maybe
times.
not 3 times. Maybe from we was gonna be in church.
He said 3 times on Sunday.
So we were gonna be in church, gonna be at revival, we was gonna be at every church function, and which was good for me because that also helped me and strengthened my faith when it came to God. Because before then, it wasn't really. I didn't have any. So to be able to come to a place where you have a bunch of youth, your age that you can, have fun with.
That's what you mentioned.
Praise God. And, I met my wife in church. So I mean, it was something good.
Okay. And at what point did you realize that football was an outlet for you?
Not till I finished my junior year in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
So all before, you weren't involved in any, did you do track or anything?
I did track in 9th grade, 10th grade, all through high school.
Okay.
And I played football one time in middle school, got kicked off in 9th grade. Because the thing was, we went to a church function.
Oh, I remember that.
So I got kicked off. Me,
I remember that.
I think it was, who else was it? Damien.
Jeremiah,
Terrence. So we got kicked off. So I told myself I wasn't playing them, I was just going to run track.
Okay.
And then another one of my friends, Joe Wilson, came and talked to me about give it one more shot. We going to win the state championship. Like, you know what? All right, I'll come out. Okay. And then after my junior year of football season, that's when I realized that I can actually do something. Okay. But until then, I was just doing just enough, to squeak by. Okay. Play football, to run track. So I wasn't making the grades that I needed to make to go to a Division I school.
And so, did you have a love for track? Yes, track was going to be my outlet. It was my outlet as far as running. I wasn't always fast. I didn't really get fast till maybe my 9th grade, 10th grade. Really? So, and then that's when I realized that, maybe I can do something with track. But I was planning on maybe going to college for that. Okay. Until football came around. Okay. And so take us the football journey. What was that like, even in high school? And tell us about that journey. I loved high school football because, we challenged each other. It was great as far as we set goals. We didn't lose no games, so that's always fun. Won 2, state championships. And most of my friends that I have now is because, that I met them through church and playing football. So that, that's always a... Because, I don't know a thing about sports, but I would be at those games. Right, just looking, right? Just watching the numbers run up and down the field. If I knew when somebody went into a certain area, that was a touchdown. But it was crazy because it brought us all together. Right. Like, it was crazy how those games would be.
Right.
Cars everywhere, up and down. You have to walk down the street to get to your car. And like you said, I believe it built such a camaraderie, but at the same time, rivals. It would be sometimes all kind of trash talking, but it was still good fun. Nothing like trash talking is today.
Right.
But it was, like I said, it built camaraderie, and I believe it gave people a lot of positivity. A lot of good things came out of it, and a lot of support. So tell us, continue with the football. What went on with football?
So in high school, when I found out I actually can, make something happen, I put my, I threw everything aside. I know I wanted to go to college. I know I wanted to play football after high school. So I found out what I needed GPA wise, what I needed SAT wise, and got to work. I remember I took my last SAT, and I ended up getting the score I needed to go to USC.
Okay.
If I didn't get the score,
being University of South Carolina.
The University of South Carolina, right?
Gotcha.
So, and then if I didn't make the score, I would have had to go to junior college, because always in Kansas. And I know I wanted to go somewhere close to, so family could come,
right? And
just be able to drive home when I wanted to. So that's one, the reason why I chose South Carolina.
Okay. And what was that journey like?
Oh,
from Petticoat to because I went to USC for a while before I came to USC Aiken. And when I got up there, which was in 1989, it was like a city in a city.
Right.
And so coming from Petticoat, and then you go there, and there's one auditorium that could be big enough to seat the whole high school.
Right.
So what was that like?
It was a culture shock for me, because I know my first semester, I got on academic probation.
Me too.
It was just, it was because you have a class, you got 300 students in it, the teacher not really paying you any attention. So, you can sleep, you can, listen to music, whatever. I mean, the teacher is there to, pretty much most of the time there to teach. It wasn't really no
accountability.
Right. And you really had to hold yourself accountable at that time, or sleep in, whatever it may be.
And you were on the football team.
I was on the football team. So I got on academic probation.
Scholarship?
On scholarship, full scholarship.
Oh, Lord. Okay, go ahead.
Full scholarship. Didn't have to worry about it.
And you went to sleep.
And I went to sleep.
Okay. Go ahead.
So my first year playing football, I didn't play like the first 3 or 4 games. So I was getting upset with myself. Like maybe I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Then after that, I started getting mad at the coaches. Like, man, these coaches don't know what they're doing. They brought me here. I know I'm better than all the receivers that's playing now. But what I didn't understand, like, these guys been working before I got here. So they got seniority over me, no matter how good I'm playing. So what happened was we lost the game to Georgia.
Okay.
And then Coach Holtz came in. He was like, you know what? I'm going to start some of these younger players. So he called me into the office like, you know what? We're going to start you this week. So after that, I didn't look back.
Okay.
My freshman year, had a great freshman year. Okay, sophomore year. Then come to my junior year, had a big game against Georgia. And then I started getting these phone calls about, going to the next level, going to the NFL. In which my whole goal was to get out of college. Okay. That was my whole goal. I never thought about going to the NFL.
Really?
Never. It was never a goal of mine.
Wow.
Never. It's kind of crazy how stuff just kind of was falling in my lap as I was going. So I got a call from different agents trying to get me to, sign with them after the season over with. So I played my season. They was like, have a good season and then we'll talk after that. So I played my junior season, and I called the agent that one of my friends had signed with. He was just getting started. I'm like, I want somebody that I can, when I call, they'll pick up the phone, have to go through no assistant. So I picked him, and after I finished my last class, I got on a flight to Miami to start training for the combine.
Okay.
Now college was great as far as going out there. You work hard, you play hard, you make plays. Didn't really think about it. Don't care what nobody say. Then you get to the NFL, and you get to a point to where, all right, I told myself.
Because tell me about it. How did you jump into it? Oh, okay.
So I told myself, now if I'm gonna leave school, I want to be one of the top receivers taken. Okay. So I got to work. I went worked for a month and a half before the combine. Got into the combine. Had one of the best combines. Ran a fast 40 time. Jump high. Jump far. Then you realize where you're gonna fall at within this draft. So I know I was going to be a first rounder. That wasn't the question. The question was, would I be, you know, the top 3 receivers taken, or would I be a top 10 receiver taken? Mm-hmm. So I remember getting a call. So we threw this big draft party. I got invited to the NFL draft in New York. Decided to stay home because I wanted to be, you know, around family and friends and eat some Maryland fried chicken and you know all that. So we sitting there watching the TV, and I get a Minnesota area code. So I'm in Minnesota, got the 7th overall pick. And it was between me and another guy, Mike Williams, that they probably was gonna pick. Okay. So I remember leaving the room, talking, and they was like, you know, you ready to be a Viking? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. So my whole thing was, I'm not getting excited until I hear my name come across the TV screen. So I come back in, and it was like, what they say? I was like, nothing. So I sit down, all my family around me, and then so they come up, you know, with the 7th pick of the 2005 draft. The Minnesota Vikings select Troy Williamson. It felt like a whole weight just lifted up off me. You actually, I know at that time, I actually went back all the way through of everything that I went through up until that point. Because you realize how you can easily make one bad decision and don't end up being drafted. Or one bad decision and end up dead somewhere. Right. So, but I know my turning point was the death of my brother and being able to point me down that path and put me on the path with getting it with Doug when it comes to church, with Bishop, and some of the friends that I got, my wife, and some of the friends that I got that helped me get to that point.
Yes, and that is amazing to, you know, it was amazing for us to witness, you know, where you came from. And I wasn't there for your whole story. Like I said, I met you probably when you were in just in high school maybe. Yeah. And just seeing the transitions and the twists and turns out, because I came when you were kind of on the upside. And I know that even for us, it was a blessing seeing what God was doing in your life. So when you made it, and I can only imagine what that felt like. So once you realize, okay, I've been drafted, I'm going into the NFL, where does your mind go? What were you wanting? What were you thinking about?
My mind went straight to my family. So, you know, I want to make sure I take care of my family. I've been put in a position to be able to put people, you know, other people in, you know, better positions. And then after that, you know, came the football stuff.
Thanks so much for joining us today. If you've been blessed by today's show, feel free to let us know. And if you'd like to sow into this ministry, become a sponsor, or contact us, you can reach us at 803-221-0169. Or you can email us at thessbbshow@gmail.com. Let's continue this journey together.
And it took me back to my childhood. Okay. To when it came to a lot of stuff that I didn't deal with as a child came back up. Okay. So dealing with, you know, depression. And I remember I made a phone call when I played my last game. I made a phone call to my wife Charity and told her, I'm finished playing. And what made it easy for me to, you know, to stop playing was her saying that, you know, whatever you want to do. You know, we